Welcome to the Sports Marketing Machine Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Nizer. Today, we're talking promotions that work. This is a brand new segment. Appreciate Amanda Rich from the Lansing Lugnuts, the marketing and fan engagement manager, joining me today. We're going to talk all about Bluey Night tonight.
That's right. Everybody's favorite blue healer.
That's right. That's right. So you had Bluey July 21st as a promotion at your ballpark. Tell me a little bit about kind of the planning side of it before we start digging into how you found the costume, all that good stuff. You're just trying to find something fun to do for kids on Sundays?
Yeah, absolutely. Sundays for us are already Capital City Markets Kids Days, so they're already tailored to the kids. We do post-game Kids Run the Bases. We have the extra inning of fun and ice cream with Big Lug at the market afterwards. So we really wanted to look into a way to spruce up these Sundays. Outside of being a 105 first pitch and us being tailored to the kids, there's nothing that's really like, hey, come to the Lugnuts, it's Kids Day. So we really wanted to find a way to spruce that up. After talking to some other teams and kind of looking around at our options available, it kind of seemed like Bluey is the character with the juice right now. So it was like, okay, I think Bluey is what we need to do. How can we get Bluey in here?
So what was the next step then? How did you find out where to find a Bluey costume, or did they send you a costume? Did you have to go through a company like a Superstars type company? Like how did you get the costume? How'd that all come together?
Yeah, we worked with MILB for a bit, kind of back and forth on who's the right person, who has the rights for this, where do we really start. So minor league baseball was a huge asset as far as finding the right people to contact. So MILB got us in touch with the group Oasis, and Oasis is the group that has Bluey. So we started email corresponding with Oasis. They are great. They're super communicative. Everything is really cleared and lined out. Their contract's really clear. And they really made it easy for us. Kind of, once we heard what they had to offer, it was kind of a no-brainer of like, okay, you guys are awesome. We definitely have to do that. So like I said, everything was full encompass with Oasis. We booked and communicated with them directly for 6 to 8 months leading up to. They approved all copy and graphics, and really it was a hand-in-hand effort with Oasis to bring Bluey out to the ballpark.
Perfect. Now, did they send you the costume, or did they send you a person to be in the costume? How did that work?
Yeah, so like I said, they're really great. They're full encompassing. So they sent us the costume, the talent for inside the costume, an official handler from Oasis, as well as a backdrop. So we had a couple of different backdrop options to choose from. We went with the real standard out front of Bluey's house, the scene that everybody knows. But they were really helpful when it came to that. We also, Oasis gives the option where you can hire both Bluey and Bingo. And so we passed on Bingo this year. We just did Bluey. We kind of wanted to see how this would go first before we put Bluey and Bingo out there, all of our eggs into that basket. But whether you do one talent, both talents, they send the people for the costume, a handler, and they really do help on site.
Now, this is the next question is a question that everyone's going to want to know. Well, how much does it cost, or how much did Oasis charge you?
Yeah, sure. So it's always, for us anyway, I should say, the money sign's always the scary part. And yes, Oasis did cost a bit, but overall, relatively speaking, very affordable. We spent under $7,000 total, so about $6,500 roughly is what we paid Oasis. But that covered everything: travel, lodging if they needed it, and it brought everybody here for the X amount of time we had them booked for. There is, opportunity for your cost to increase. Like I said, we only did Bluey, so there's a little bit of added cost to add Bingo. We just booked one talent to get into the costume for the day, but you can book multiple, so that way you don't have a break. So those couple of things can increase the price a little bit, but relatively speaking, in minor league baseball, it's overall affordable.
Yeah, $6,500. I mean, that's the cost of other acts, or even less than some of the other acts that are out there, and less than a lot of promotions giveaways that you would do as well. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Just anecdotally, what's a bobblehead cost these days?
Insane. The price on bobbleheads are going through the roof. I'd say right now we're probably averaging probably like $8 per, and that might be on the high end. Yeah, I'm
Holy
gonna say probably
smokes.
6 to 8, and six is, if you can get it for six, you better snatch them all up.
Yep, yeah, that's a steal for sure. So Bluey came in for about 6,500. Flew in a talent to be in the suit. You've got the suit. You got a handler. You got hotels, all that good stuff. So 6,500. So we've got the date, July 21st. We've lined up to have Bluey in there. What did you start doing to promote it? Because you had a tremendous attendance for that game, higher than your normal average, higher than your normal Sunday. It was one of the highest Sunday games for baseball this year as far as growth goes. What did you do to promote it?
Yeah, absolutely. So once we officially booked, we picked a date, all that good stuff with Oasis. It then came to, all right, how are we going to sell tickets to this? We knew we wanted to do kind of like a VIP ticket where we increased the price a little bit. So again, there we had to work with Oasis hand in hand. They're really specific when it comes to verbiage and offering those VIP packages. On your verbiage and what you're saying, so that way we're not guaranteeing anybody something that they're not going to end up getting. So we had to really work with them on the verbiage as far as VIP. So what we did was we attached the VIP pass, which was the first meet and greet session. You got like a fast pass basically for an increased charge. And with that, they approved the graphic, real standard stuff with the assets that they sent. And then we just limited the amount on that available because we were a little bit nervous, again, being the first time. We didn't know how this was going to go. So we had about 70 VIP tickets total at a $30 price point to sell. Just launching VIP tickets alone, we sold out in hours. It was so quick. I was like, oh my gosh, the response was so overwhelming. I started to panic, and this was like back in March. And I'm like, how are we going to do this? We sold out a VIP. Like, are we ready for this beast? Can we tackle this? And it really just took off from there. The amount of tags and shares just from the VIP tickets, even though they were sold out, was insane, and the impressions just kept coming on that post. So we changed up the graphics just a little bit. We ran with the same two graphics the entire time, so it was really easy. But we took off the VIP and then just ran with the standard graphic. We changed that verbiage just a little bit. Instead of the guaranteed meet and greet, it's your chance to meet Bluey. And then we just let tickets go. Additionally, we did target some kind of local groups as far as signage and things like that, spending. We did a little bit of paid social on Meta, and we spent a little bit on our Google display ads through Haibu, but a lot of it was grassroots, hitting the ground running. I took a couple of posters that we printed in-house to some local places downtown Lansing. So we did our Impression 5 Science Center. Lots of kids and families are going there. It's educational. The mom groups did a fabulous job sharing for us locally. We tackled the Capital Area District Library and some of our entertainment rec facilities. We've got Zap Zone XL out here, high caliber, go-karting. So those kind of areas where families are going, the hotspots for Lansing in the summertime, and just put a really basic signage that we printed in-house up around there, and that little blue healer sold tickets.
Love it, love it, love it. I love how y'all were very intentional going, okay, we're going to go to the library because that's where kids and families are. We're going to go to the go-kart place because that's when kids families are. Moms groups, they're always looking for something to do. We're going to go right to them. And you're promoting something that you know for sure they're going to be fired up and excited about. And it's not like just a random player bobblehead. You were very intentional about this. And I think that adds to why this night was so successful, is you were very specific on how you did your marketing for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're trying to reflect, because we had such success with it, we're trying to reflect those strategies with everything. Obviously, some things are easier than others, but because we did find the success with that, we are trying to mimic that elsewhere.
All right, so you had the 70 people for the guaranteed meet and greet, and then a bunch of other people bought a whole bunch more tickets, right? So what happened with them? Did they have the ability to take pictures, or how did that work out?
Yeah, so we had multiple sessions. Since we only booked one talent, Bluey was out for 30 minutes and then on a break for 30 minutes. And we did that for a course of 3 hours total, 3.5 hours total. So We had just a paper voucher once VIP ticket holders checked in that they received, and that was essentially their fast pass. So if they showed that, whether it was the first meet and greet session or not, they were just able to skip the line with that and be next in front. And then every other second of our meet and greets were a GA kind of style. So we had stanchions up, we had staff members out there with different giveaways for the breaks and stuff to keep everybody entertained. But it was just kind of a come and go as you please. If you want to wait for Bluey, you're more than welcome to. If not, go ahead and stroll off. Maybe you'll catch Bluey. But it overall was a pretty simple process. I would say 98% of the people that came to the ballpark got to see Bluey. Maybe some had to wait a little bit longer than they would have liked to, but it worked out really well.
Yeah, that's great. Kids probably are used to waiting in line. They're waiting in line. The kids run the bases. They're waiting in line for some of these things. So they're used to it. And families, when you have that many people, it's just people are used to waiting. That's just, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of, internally our team here talked about it. How do we want to do this? How does it look like? And honestly, we thought about Disney a lot. And Disney has so many characters, and they've got, they're on break, they're not, all those kinds of things. And we're like, if people can survive at Disney and go to Disney knowing they're going to be waiting for these characters, I think we can have a line for Bluey at the ballpark.
Yep, absolutely. So you had the one upsell opportunity, which is the guaranteed meet and greet, and then the opportunity for people to stand in line if they were like. Now, what did you do during the game? Did you have some clips on the video board, music? Like, what did you do as far as in-game entertainment?
Yeah, we definitely went for a total Bluey takeover as far as the atmosphere goes. So we had tunes from the show playing throughout the entire game. I've got this one stuck in my head all the time, and I just feel like I'm a balloon bopping around. But we had tunes playing. The area where we had our backdrop and the photo shoot set up was one of our premium venues, which we call The View. So it's kind of more of a banquet center type, but still attached to the ballpark. So on our TV screens inside the venue there, we had Bluey episodes running for the fans to be entertained and kind of watch there. On our ISM screens throughout the ballpark, we had Bluey playing. We then, all of our on-field stuff, we just kind of tweaked and changed just a little bit to make them Bluey themed. So we did a little bit of keepy uppy, and we had the first base side versus the third base side, and they have to keep their balloon up. We did an old granny race where we had kids put on a granny costume and go in the crazy coupe cars down and back. So really just finding those kind of little things that happen in the show that we could add to the atmosphere here to just overall make it a Bluey theme.
Love it, love it. And probably dance mode was also in there too.
Yes, absolutely. We did the crane game. We had it all. It was great.
Love it, love it, love it. So group sales for that day, it seems like this was more single game driven. Did you get any group sales? Did you do anything different on the merchandise side?
Yeah, so we did get a little bit of group sales. Outside of our school days and our church groups, kind of finding those. We also did a youth sports night this year, so we had a number of leads to choose from, but trying to find that right niche. Again, too, knowing that Bluey kind of sold itself, so we didn't have to do a ton of efforts on the group side, but our group sales team definitely saw some success there. Typically, our VIP buyers, they were buying, one buyer was buying 20 tickets, so it was kind of like, all right, there's definitely intentions for groups here. They're coming to meet Bluey in groups. As far as merchandise goes, we were a little bummed out on this side of things. We don't have the rights to be able to use Bluey on our merchandise and things like that. So Oasis offers you to go out to any retailer that sells Bluey stuff and you can purchase that and use it, but you can't sell anything in the store. So I was at Target and Walmart and every store I could go to buying prizing and coloring books and shirts and stuffed animals and all that good stuff. So we had a lot of outside merchandise that we went and got. I was after St. Patrick's Day, I went and got all the Bluey St. Patrick's Day stuff on sale. I did it Halloween last year. So getting a lot of stuff on sale, we were able to do a lot of giveaways and have prizing and stuff around Bluey. We just weren't able to do anything with Lugnuts branding incorporated.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Black Friday, you're on there buying everything on Amazon. That's you. Okay, got
Yes,
it.
yes, yeah. I'm always getting the looks. It's crazy stuff all the time, but that's 100% me.
Yeah, I love it, love it, love it. So looking back, is there anything you'd do differently? Do you think you would expand it from 70 to 100 for the pregame meet and greet? Well, what would you do differently?
Yeah, I think, that's probably my biggest take back from the day. I was so, like I said, I've been holding my breath since March over this day. How is this going to go? I don't want to upset people. I'm a perfectionist, so I want everything to just be tip-top shape. So moving forward, we definitely want to bring Bluey back because it was so successful. We definitely want to increase that VIP volume, guarantee more of those people, that meet and greet. We could probably easily double what we did because it did go so smooth and it was successful. So we definitely want to increase that. We'd love to find more of an added value for that ticket as well. This year it was just your game ticket and the guaranteed meet and greet. So we'd love to find a little bit more value to that. Maybe it is, one of those sale items that I get or whatever. But we definitely want to develop that, increase the volume there. As I had mentioned, we booked one talent and had 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off. If and when we do it again, I want 0 breaks. We'd probably get 2 talents, so that way they can just switch into the costume and come right back out. Majority of our negative feedback that we did get was on those 30-minute sessions when Bluey was taking a break. So we definitely would pony up a couple extra dollars and pay for the extra talent. And we would definitely increase our staff out there. So we had probably about 5 or 6 staff members designated for the Bluey meet and greet. And it worked out great at first. It was perfect. We didn't quite realize that the issue would be getting fans to leave Bluey and exit. So we were a little bit understaffed in terms of exiting, and we didn't realize that was going to be the hard part. So looking back at it too, moving forward, we would certainly get an extra body or 2 out there for exiting.
So the kids just didn't want to leave.
No, they did not want to leave. And even if they didn't want to be right next to Bluey, they just had to have Bluey in their sights. Like, they just couldn't, they would just roam the whole room and just keep their head on Bluey wherever Bluey was. It was crazy.
Love it, love it. So that just tells us that Bluey is so popular that kids are like tunnel vision for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that is marvelous. The idea of potentially adding this to a ticket plan next year, so 4-game plan, 3-game plan. Have you all thought through that, and what's your considerations?
Yeah, actually, we're heavily considering it. Actually, something that we kind of started to trial run this year, and we want to develop into 2025, is a Kids Day pass, a family pass, where it's specifically our 105 first pitches, and maybe it's 5-6 games included. And so that's the conversation that we're having now, right? Is which day games are those? Which ones are we targeting? So there's a couple in there that are just a standard Kids Day, but then we want to include like Big Lug's birthday, which we primarily do on a Sunday, into that package. Bluey would certainly be one that we want to add into that package. So that's something that we're working on for 2025, kind of early stages of developing, but we are creating a day game package with one of our big nights kind of included into that.
So on your Bluey night, did you look into data and see how many of these fans who came out to this day, this was their first time ever coming or haven't been in a few years? Have you kind of looked at the data, and what did you come up with from it?
Yeah, I still haven't fully dove into it and stuff, but at first glance, a lot of our peoples were first-time goers to the ballpark. And we had a lot of first-time buyers through FIVO. Mm-hmm. We got FIVO a couple of years ago. We're still very much paper tickets, and that's what our fans know and things like that. So the transition to FIVO has been kind of hard for us. But we sold all of our VIP tickets through FIVO and majority of our tickets through FIVO. And that showed us, a lot of these people, they haven't been to a Lugnuts game. We had probably, I would say, one of our top 3 games of out-of-towners, non-locals coming to the ballpark. And we had people from all over the place coming.
That's fantastic. Good for y'all. And it sounds like you're going to do it again and have a blast and add more to it. Are there other acts that you're considering next year now that you see some success with Bluey? There's some other ones or some other ideas that you might try and that you're thinking through?
Yeah, absolutely. We are like I said, pedal to the metal in the planning stages for 2025. There's all sorts of different themes and characters being tossed out there. We definitely are looking at Bluey again. Excuse me, one we've continuously circled back to is Paw Patrol, and there's multiple characters there and stuff, so we've really been considering Paw Patrol. We had to take a break on Harry Potter for us in our local market, so we really want to try and see if Harry Potter is something that we can bring back. That's another one that'll kind of drive tickets, and then we've really considered Peppa Pig as well, kind of thinking Peppa might have the same kind of juice that Bluey has, but truly right now, I mean, Bluey's the character with the juice.
Yep. As a dad to a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, you are spot on with everything you just said. The only thing, Paw Patrol was a little bit younger, and that's probably your 4 to 6-year-old boys, but Peppa Pig, spot on. Bluey, my girls would sit here and watch Bluey for 4 hours straight. So you are spot on, and I love what y'all are doing. I love the planning around it, and I love the intentionality. So appreciate you coming on, appreciate you sharing the insights and being so open and candid about what you did and what worked and what you're going to do differently.
Yeah, absolutely. And just one note, too, that I just thought of. We're really looking, too, to find a dog element to incorporate in. We typically have our dog days of summers every Wednesday, but the feedback from the fans was, I want to bring my dog to this. I want my dog to meet Bluey. And for someone like me, I don't have kids. I wasn't sure. Going through the process, I was like, oh, my gosh, adults that don't even have kids are playing Bluey because they're playing it for their dog at home when they're alone and all those kinds of things. So the possibilities are endless with Bluey, and the ceiling is so high with that. We're really excited to see what we can do in the coming years.
Fantastic. Well, we will definitely keep an eye on it. I appreciate you hopping on and sharing so much insight about the Bluey Night and all the fun stuff you're planning for next year.
Yeah, thanks so much.